Salient features of the Indian Constitution. So these are the features which tells us that the Indian Constitution is a unique. First is the written constitution. In a federation, there should be a written constitution. The written constitution is very essential for a federal so that whatever there is any dispute between the federal government and the federating units, it can be used as a evidence. As a evidence, we can use the written constitution as the constitution. So written constitution is very important. Next is the largest constitution. So these are the reasons that why the Indian constitution is the largest, bulkiest. In sheer physical terms, our constitution is definitely the largest, bulkiest, and the most detailed constitution in the world. As in our constitution, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles of the state policy are mentioned. This is the first point. Second, the procedure is also mentioned in the constitution of the State Service Commission and the Union Public Service Commission UPSC. This is the second point. Third, the election process, procedure, and the formation of the government is also mentioned. Fourth, the geographical and the social differences are also present. The lifestyle and the economical problems are also present, are also different, so the provisions were increased. This is the fifth. Sixth, then the decentralization of the powers, politics are mentioned in the constitution. There is only one constitution for the India. Therefore, this is the seventh, therefore about every state, region's laws, provisions are mentioned in the constitution. So these are all the points which makes the Indian constitution largest, bulkiest, and the most detailed constitution in the world. So these are the main points which leads to the Indian constitution to be the largest, bulkiest constitution in the world. Next is the partly unitary and partly federal. So it is not totally unitary and federal, it is partly. Partly means semi. In federal form of the government, there are two citizens. But in India, there is only one citizenship for the citizen of India. In federal form of government, there are two judiciary. But in India, there is only one apex court, that is the Supreme Court. Means here we can say it is partly federal, not it is totally federal. In emergency system, federal form converts into unitary form of the government. Here the central government is the more powerful than the other government. In federal government, there are two governments, and in India, there are two governments, that are the state government and central government. But the central government is the more powerful than any other government. So India's constitution has been variously described as quasi-federal. Quasi-federal means federal with a strong unitary or a pro-central bias, federal in a structure but unitary in a spirit. It is a federal in normal times, but with the possibilities of being converted into a purely unitary one during emergency. These are the points which tells us partly unitary and partly federal. Next is the parliamentary type of government. So we have adopted the parliamentary type of government. Head of the state is nominal, whereas the prime minister, who is the leader of the majority in the parliament, is the real executive. The Indian constitution established in India a parliamentary type of government on the British model. Next is partly rigid and partly flexible. So it is a partly rigid and partly flexible, means it is not totally rigid and totally flexible. There are certain provisions which can be amended by a simple majority in the parliament, while there are certain provisions whose amendment requires not only a special majority in a parliament but also ratification by a least one half of the state legislature. So here we see that certain provisions which can be amended by simple majority in the parliament. So we can say it is a partly flexible. But why it is partly rigid? Because some provisions are there which not only requires a special majority in a parliament but also ratification by at least one half of the state legislature. So this is the reason of the partly rigid and partly flexible. Next is the fundamental rights. Under Indian Constitution, as originally enacted, the citizen of India has been granted the 7 fundamental rights. A full chapter has been devoted to the description of these fundamental rights, running into the 24 articles. Means in Indian Constitution, fundamental rights are present, and in that 24 articles are there. and these rights are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution and are justiciable. Next is the fundamental duties. The 42nd Amendment to the Constitution added a new part of the Constitution under the heading Fundamental Duties. It lays down the code of 10 duties for all citizens of India. Then direct to principles of state policy. Direct to principles of the state policy concept has been borrowed from the Constitution of the Ireland. These principles are mentioned in the part 4 of the Constitution. Aim of these principles is to establish a welfare state in India on a socialist pattern of society. Part 3, in that fundamental rights are there, and in part 4 direct to principles of state policy. Next is the independent judiciary. So Indian Constitution provides an independent judiciary. Constitution made the Supreme Court as the custodian and the protector of the Constitution. Supreme Court is the custodian and protector of the Constitution. Judgments of the Supreme Court are legally binding and there is a no appeal against the judgment of the Supreme Court. Next is the secular state. Under the 42nd Amendment, this word secular has been included in the preamble of our Constitution. Thus, India has been now officially become a secular state. Secular means we are not having any official religion. Next is the single citizen. The Constitution of India grants one citizenship to all citizens in a federation. Sometimes a citizen gets double citizenship, one of the union and the other of the state in which the person lives. But in India there is only one citizenship. This shows that it is partly federal. It is not totally federal. Next is the universal adult franchise. So the Indian Constitution originally granted universal adult franchise to all those men and women who attain the age of 21 years old. Means after the 21 years only you have the right to vote. But under the 61st Amendment of the Indian Constitution, the age of the voting has been reduced from 21 to 18 years. Then official language of India. Provision was made in our Constitution to declare Hindi in the Devanagari script as the official language of India. It is in Article 343. Till that time, English was to continue as the official language. So here we have completed all the important features of the Indian Constitution. First is the written Constitution, then largest Constitution, partly unitary, partly federal, parliamentary type of the government, partly rigid, partly flexible, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policy, then independent judiciary, a secular state, single citizenship, universal adult franchise, official language of India.